What is what I can't say? Shakespeare, do you like Shakespeare?
Yeah!
Yeah!
No, not really.
Oh, we're gonna do, somebody remember the Shakespeare, we're gonna do Hank Williams Sr.
Hank Williams, Shakespeare, same.
I tried so hard, my dear, to show that you're my every dream. But you're afraid each thing I do is just some evil scheme. A memory from your lonesome past keeps us so far apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? Another love before my time leaves you so sad and blue. And now my heart is paying for those things I didn't do. In anger, unkind words are said to help the teardrops start. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? This song, whatever the reason it was written, at this point in time is not being presented as a recounting of an ill-fated relationship fraught with baggage that I'm not really qualified to deal with. So this song goes out to Sergeant Tamika Robbins, and there is some participation involved in this. When I go Tamika, you go Sergeant Robbins, Sergeant Robbins. Tamika, Sergeant Robbins,
Sergeant Robbins.
Tamika,
Sergeant Robbins, Sergeant Robbins.
Okay, you'll know when to sing it.
Wait, say it again. I get it.
So, I'm coming back from a show in Staten Island, and I stop at the First Avenue L train in Manhattan, an island, what is it, east of here. And on my way home, and I play in the subways. That's what I do. I sing in the subway. And I'm playing, and 3 police walk by. One in front, sergeant, lady sergeant, black woman, and then a white guy and black guy. Black guy is bigger than any of them. So they go, and she goes like this to me, which is kind of a violent sign, like, you know, stop it or I'll cut your throat. Cut your own throat. Why don't
Cut you.
And I keep playing. And she stops a few paces past and says, you can't do that here. And I say, well, I have the rule that says I can do it here. She keeps walking. Two cops following her. They go down to the video control booth, which watches the videos of the platforms, one cop at the end of the platform. And I'm playing the next song, and the biggest cop of the 3 comes back and says, you gotta stop, you can't do that here. And I say, well, that's not so. And I stop playing so I can talk to him. And I take out my copy of the rules, and he takes out his copy of the rules, and he reads Part C. Well, he reads Part B. He does. I read Part C. You gotta switch around. So, Part B says you can't do this. Part C says there are exceptions. Artistic performances are allowed with acceptance of donations. But he's insisting on his rule, so I start packing my stuff. I take down his number and his badge, and I make a civilian complaint about it. Why do I make a civilian complaint? I've been chased, but he told me, okay, now leave the station. And the train is coming. I say, yeah, I'm going to leave the station. I'm going to get on that train and go home. And he said, no, you leave the station or I'll lock you up for disorderly conduct. So I wrote a complaint about it, and I included the nameless sergeant. And the Civilian Complaint Review Board said, well, we're referring this back to the police to investigate. About 3 months later, I'm not even thinking of it, I get a letter saying, Police are allowed to arrest people when they think they need arresting. You're mistaken in thinking that you can play in the subways when indeed you cannot. So I write a letter to them. A couple weeks later, I'm coming home from the East Village, and I'm just whipping it out on the way home.
Nah, whipping it out.
All of it. That's all I do. That's all I do anymore. It's the only time I'm happy. So, the sergeant from the first encounter walks by. And she stands. I left out a part. Can you go back?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, now I gave it away. You would have known anyway. The letter was signed by Sergeant Tomika Robbins. Tomika.
Sergeant Robbins.
Tomika.
Sergeant Robbins. Sergeant Robbins.
Tomika.
Sergeant Robbins. Sergeant Robbins.
Tomika.
Sergeant Robbins. Sergeant Robbins.
And she looks at me after she's given me the only one slash this time. She didn't give me the back and forth. She gave me the one slash. And we look at her. I look at her badge. She said, "Robin, oh, you wrote me. I wrote you the letter." And well, you know, and we're talking. And I said, "It's interesting that you weren't included in the. I complained about you too." So I went home and I wrote a second letter. And I sent it to her. I'm paperworking today. I said I was paperwork disabled and the psychiatrist said no. What does that mean? What part of paperwork disabled? So I'm not paperwork disabled, paperwork disabled. So instead of writing more paperwork through the city, we're singing this song for Sergeant Tomika Robbins, who gets to investigate complaints against herself. Is that cool or what? Tomika!
Sergeant Robbins. Sergeant Robbins.
Tomika!
Sergeant Robbins. Sergeant Robbins.
Tomika!
Sergeant Robbins. Sergeant Robbins.
So this last verse goes out to Tomika. You'll never know how hard it is for me to watch you cry. You know you want and need my love, but you're afraid to try. The more I think about you now, the more we drift apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart?